Chosen one, at this moment, your life is entering a pivotal shift. Though it may not be visible to the outside world, something foundational is taking place internally. This change is not circumstantial. It is spiritual, intentional, and divinely structured. You are being placed under what can only be described as a supernatural framework of protection, a dome of purpose. This dome is not symbolic, nor is it abstract. It is precise, intelligent, and purposeful. Designed by higher authority, this protective structure surrounds your mind, body, and spirit. It functions as a multidimensional barrier blocking interference, shielding you from undue influence, and enabling your next phase of growth to proceed without interruption. The formation of this dome is not a passive event. It requires alignment. The chosen one must be prepared not just emotionally or intellectually, but spiritually. Doubt, fear, or deviation from purpose can weaken its integrity. Your faith becomes the activation key. If it wavers, the structure remains dormant. If it strengthens, the dome is reinforced. This dome is not placed by chance. It is a deliberate assignment rooted in recognition of your calling, your endurance, and your readiness. The forces aligned against you may remain active, but their access is now denied. They are blocked by a higher command that sees value in protecting what is unfolding in your life, while external events may grow more unstable, whether through social division, political uncertainty, or spiritual confusion. You are being positioned rather than hidden. This protective measure is not about isolation, but preparation. The dome equips you to rise while others are overwhelmed. It serves as a filter, shielding you from confusion while amplifying clarity and discernment. The chosen one is not exempt from pressure, but is shielded from collapse. The structure you are now being placed within responds to divine instruction, not personal emotion. That means even in moments of emotional vulnerability, the dome remains steady. It is not governed by feeling, it is governed by higher order. While you may be forgiving or compassionate, the dome remains firm and discerning. This dome is not merely a cover, it is a sanctuary. It promotes internal stillness in the midst of external disruption. It does not allow confusion to pass. It does not permit voices that do not align with your destiny to take root. Emotional toxins, past traumas, and manipulative influences are now being filtered out. Access is denied by default to anything that does not match the divine configuration of your purpose. God's instruction is clear. The chosen one must be sealed, not temporarily, but permanently. This is not a fluctuating state, it is a locked-in alignment. The dome functions with intelligent design, operating as a spiritual system equipped to withstand the complexities of your environment. It blocks breakdown, betrayal, and burnout. It is a system that absorbs pressure and repurposes it into progress. You may begin to notice something subtle but undeniable. Conversations that once felt comfortable may now feel forced. Relationships that previously seemed normal may start to lose their grip. This is not paranoia or coincidence. It is the dome executing a programmed audit. Misalignment will begin to surface. You will detect it in people, places, and choices. Your awareness will sharpen. Where you once tolerated dysfunction, you will now feel a sense of rejection, not of others, but of misaligned energy. The dome is designed with a spiritual filtration system. It is coded to detect deception before it unfolds. You may not hear exact words or see visible signs, but internally, your spirit will alert you. You will feel a sense of caution before betrayal occurs. You will withdraw naturally from patterns that previously held power over you. For the chosen one, this process is not about avoidance, it is about elevation. The dome does not isolate you to weaken you. It isolates you to prepare you. Preparation requires recalibration. The voices that once dominated your decision-making, those of fear, pressure, and doubt, are being silenced. The dome is issuing clarity in place of confusion. As part of this shift, your internal architecture is undergoing refinement. Emotional wounds once buried are now being addressed. Patterns of overthinking, cycles of anxiety, and the spiritual clutter that once weighed down your clarity are being removed. This is not punishment, it is purification. You are being cleared out to be filled again. God's instruction is not simply to shield the chosen one, but to prepare them with precision. Every distraction, every drain on your energy, and every manipulation disguised as opportunity is being filtered out. No longer will your time be consumed by things that offer no return. This system is one of spiritual economy, ensuring that everything permitted into your space adds value to your mission. As this dome settles over your life, its first effect is not visible. It is internal. You will begin to feel different. Your thoughts will shift. Motivation will return in ways you didn't anticipate. Where you once felt lethargic, there will be activation. Where you once doubted your worth, there will be reassurance. This is the beginning of divine recalibration, where clarity overrides confusion. The dome is also equipped with what could be described as discernment intelligence. It does not require you to ask permission to be protected. It simply acts on divine command. Even if you emotionally struggle to let go of a person, habit, or environment, the dome will apply boundaries. These boundaries are not based on your feelings. They are based on your future. It is not uncommon for chosen individuals to wrestle with decisions during this phase, decisions about people, partnerships, or paths. The dome simplifies this complexity. If something is out of sync, the system generates friction. If something is aligned, peace will follow. It's not about making hard choices through willpower. It's about allowing alignment to be your guide. The dome strengthens your internal compass. It helps you distinguish between what looks good and what is actually good for your journey. Surface appeal no longer dominates your discernment. Substance takes priority. False opportunities will begin to lose their appeal. Distractions dressed as progress will no longer seduce your attention. This dome is also tuned to your past experiences. It remembers where you were hurt, misled, or betrayed. And its memory is intelligent, not to keep you in fear, but to prevent cycles from repeating. Certain patterns that once felt familiar will now feel foreign. Certain individuals who once had access will now be distanced. The system does not forget pain, it learns from it. While this process may initially feel uncomfortable, it is important to understand what is truly happening. Transformation through intentional separation. The separation is not a rejection of others. It is a protection of your assignment. Some exits are not losses, they are corrections. They are divine rerouting for the sake of your progress. The chosen one is not being groomed for isolation but for sustainability. The dome ensures that your energy is not just protected but optimized. Your spiritual capacity is being enhanced. Your emotional bandwidth is being cleared. This results in sharper thinking, deeper creativity, and elevated insight. Tasks that once felt draining may now feel manageable. Projects that took weeks to complete may now require only hours. You are not operating on natural energy alone. You are being plugged into a divine current. The dome facilitates this connection not as a source of hype, but as a flow of sustainable momentum. You may begin to notice shifts in how others perceive you. Some may feel unsettled around you, not because of anything you've done, but because your spiritual climate has changed. Energy that once matched now feels incompatible. This is not your burden to fix. It is simply a byproduct of elevation. The dome creates a separation not to punish others, but to maintain the purity of your progress. Not everyone is assigned to go with you. And the system understands that better than your emotions do. When someone exits, don't resist. Understand the purpose behind the pruning. Inside this dome, the Chosen One begins to operate at a new frequency. Your inner world begins to quiet. Even if the outer world grows louder, decisions become easier. Directions become clearer. The dome does not guarantee a storm-free life. It guarantees strategic response during storms. It does not erase conflict, but provides divine clarity through it. One of the most vital roles of this dome is to manage and monitor your spiritual health in real time. When your thoughts drift, it brings awareness. When you start to self-sabotage, it generates correction. It functions like an internal guidance system, not judging, but redirecting. This system does not support chaos. It supports sacred order. Structure becomes your ally. Routine becomes your foundation. The dome will begin encouraging a lifestyle built around spiritual consistency, early reflection, intentional planning, and emotional grounding. These are not control tactics, they are alignment tools. What may feel like restlessness is often divine agitation. The dome is alerting you when it's time to shift. You'll sense this in your energy, your surroundings, and your relationships. Don't ignore the nudges. They are part of the spiritual intelligence embedded in this system. The dome's intelligence is not fixed. It adapts. It grows with you. The more you obey the nudges, the stronger the guidance becomes. The more aligned your choices, the clearer the communication. Your entire life begins to operate as a cooperative system under divine order. Your inner atmosphere becomes the foundation for your external results. If your thoughts are steady, your actions follow. If your spirit is aligned, your progress accelerates. This is the infrastructure being established beneath the surface. And it is designed to last. The Chosen One is not just being preserved, they are being prepared. The dome is not a pause. It is a launch sequence. Once all systems align, mind, body, spirit, the runway clears. This is not symbolic. It is measurable. Life will begin to respond differently. Momentum will increase. The old delays, removed. The old distractions, filtered. The emotional drains, closed off. You are now under divine management. The choices you make, the paths you take, and the people you allow access to are now being filtered by this system. As your internal stability grows, your external environment will begin to reflect it. Conversations will shift. Opportunities will realign. Projects will surface that match your true capability. This is not random. It is a manifestation of the protective dome at work. The Chosen One, as this divine structure continues to take form around your life, the transformation becomes increasingly evident, not only in how you think but in how you respond. What used to provoke anxiety now stirs discernment. Where you once reacted from emotion, you now respond with wisdom. This is the byproduct of realignment, not just mentally, but spiritually and biologically. Within this dome, your nervous system, long trained to operate in survival mode, is undergoing a deep recalibration. The overthinking, the restlessness, the pattern of preparing for the worst even when things are calm, those behaviors are being gently but firmly disrupted. You are not being forced to manage stress. You are being taught how to release it completely. This is not temporary relief. It is a permanent redesign. God is not just restoring peace to your external world. He is reprogramming your internal operating system. That means your body will begin to adapt to calm. You'll find that peace no longer feels foreign. It becomes the new baseline. You're not just feeling better, you're functioning better. Your energy levels will stabilize, your sleep will improve, and your mental focus will sharpen. This is biology meeting divinity. It is the intersection of healing and purpose. The trauma that once shaped your responses is losing its grip. No longer will you default to fear, defensiveness, or self-sabotage. The dome replaces those conditioned responses with clarity, confidence, and quiet assurance. And this shift is not meant for comfort alone, it's meant for capacity. When you are no longer weighed down by internal turmoil, you become available for higher assignments. Your energy is no longer divided. It's focused. Your time is no longer spent recovering from emotional exhaustion. It's redirected toward purposeful action. The chosen one is not being left in a place of maintenance. You are being upgraded into a life of movement. The dome makes this possible by permanently severing the loops that once kept you trapped. These loops repeating challenges disguised as new circumstances are now broken. The cycle of starting strong only to fade midway, cut off. The tendency to attract conflict right after breakthrough? This is divine disruption, and it is intentional. What once looked like a lesson was often a disguised loop. But no more. The dome contains within it a protective layer that prevents old dynamics from re-entering under new appearances. You may feel the temptation to revisit an old comfort zone, but the pull will no longer carry power. Familiar dysfunction will lose its appeal. This is not resistance from your will, it's protection from your spirit. You are now operating in open space emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. This space was not given cheaply. It was earned through growth, obedience, and resilience. And now, in this clarity, something ancient within you is being reawakened. A divine identity once dormant is now active. This awakening is not dramatic. It's quiet, stable, and resolute. Inside the dome, your spiritual memory is being restored. You begin to remember who you were before fear, before trauma, before disappointment. This remembrance is not nostalgic, it is activating. The boldness you once silenced is returning. The creative spark you once buried is reigniting. The vision you once questioned is now coming into focus. This is not imagination, it is alignment with your design. Your desires are shifting, not because you've changed, but because you're returning. The real you, the chosen one, is emerging again. And this emergence comes with new responsibility. The dome is not just protecting you, it is authorizing you. You are no longer in waiting. The delays have been lifted. The spiritual systems are greenlit. God has released the word. Proceed. This is not the beginning of consideration. It's the beginning of commission. Every gift that lay dormant now comes with instructions. Your ideas are no longer vague, they are strategies. Your voice is no longer tentative, it is needed. The environment around you is now charged with potential because your alignment has cleared the interference. Conversations will begin to shift. People will start referencing thoughts you've only recently considered. Resources will appear to support decisions you haven't yet announced. This is not coincidence. It is synchronization. The dome has aligned your life with divine timing. What once required force now flows. What once seemed blocked now opens naturally. The chosen one no longer chases opportunity. You walk into prepared moments, appointments set by heaven, not by human design. This spiritual structure also manages your access. It opens what aligns and closes what doesn't, with or without your understanding. At first, this may feel restrictive. Closed doors can feel like rejection. But within the dome, they are protection. The system is not set to cater to your preferences. It is set to protect your potential. If a door closes, trust that the closure is strategic. If a conversation ends abruptly, trust that the silence is necessary. The dome filters even the unseen layers of your decisions. It does not operate on surface value. It moves based on deeper spiritual data. Divine rejection, in this phase, is an act of mercy. The dome prevents you from entering spaces where your spirit is not received. It stops you from forging connections that would later compromise your purpose. Every no is rerouting you to a more precise yes. This isn't punishment. It's clarity, and the clarity is multidimensional. The dome doesn't just look forward, it remembers backward. It recognizes patterns, vulnerabilities, and tendencies that once sabotaged your progress. These are now actively flagged. You may feel discomfort, but it is the dome's way of applying spiritual accountability. This new system cannot support chaos. It requires structure. God is not simply protecting you, He's building sacred discipline into your days. Routines once neglected will begin to feel essential. Practices like stillness, prayer, reflection, and preparation will become central, not out of obligation, but out of necessity. You will feel your time becoming more focused. You'll sense when something is a distraction, even if it's appealing. You'll identify patterns that delay progress, and you'll resist them naturally. This is not self-help. It is divine optimization. The chosen one is not being asked to perform. You're being prepared to sustain. Spiritual growth is not random, it's organized. The dome trains your instincts to align with higher principles. You'll feel when you're drifting, and you'll be nudged back. You'll sense when your pace is off, and the system will adjust it. This is how maturity unfolds, not in spontaneous inspiration, but in structured transformation. The weak foundations, beliefs, friendships, even identities built from pain, are being dismantled. The system does not tolerate instability. It only sustains what can carry purpose. God has issued a spiritual demolition of anything built from survival, trauma, or ego. These parts are being taken down so new, purpose-driven structures can rise. This renovation is necessary. The old was not strong enough to carry where you're going. And when that new foundation is laid, you will notice the difference immediately. Emotional triggers lose power. Cycles of doubt collapse. Reactions that once controlled you now fall beneath your awareness. This is not numbness, it is elevation. The chosen one is now becoming indestructible, not in arrogance, but in alignment. This dome does not minimize you. It prepares you. As you move forward, your private preparation will begin to lead to public visibility. Not visibility for fame, but visibility for purpose. You may notice your influence expanding. Your name may be brought up in spaces you've never entered. This isn't marketing, it's momentum. The dome ensures that your rise is sustainable. No artificial visibility, no performance, just presence. Backed by alignment. With increased visibility comes increased resistance, but not increased vulnerability. The dome acts as a barrier against backlash. While others fold under pressure, you'll find authority rising within. It's not loud or aggressive, it's steady and undeniable. Even your biology will begin to reflect the change. Your nervous system, the very core of how your body responds to the world, is being healed. Survival mode is replaced with settled peace. You're not being taught to manage stress. You're being reconditioned to live without it. This isn't just about breathing exercises or techniques. It's a spiritual recalibration. Your body is learning to trust again, and in doing so, it becomes capable of sustaining momentum. Peace is no longer occasional. It becomes the baseline. Stress is no longer the engine. It becomes the warning light. The dome teaches your body how to live in alignment with your calling. And once that lesson takes root, your potential accelerates. Not in bursts, but in flow. Productivity rises. Creativity surges. Focus returns. This is not because you're trying harder. It's because your system is finally synchronized. Every loop, every recurring issue, every cycle that kept you spinning, it's now broken. The dome has revoked access to dysfunction. Old patterns have expired. Their influence is gone. What you're walking in now is freedom, real freedom, not just relief. Temptation will lose power. Triggers will lose effectiveness. Where you were once manipulated by emotions or pressure, you'll now see clearly. This is not a phase. It's a permanent shift. The chosen one is now walking in clean direction. The vision is uncluttered. The path is open. The space you needed has been created. And in that space, something long buried is waking up. A divine memory. A spiritual identity. A dormant strength. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming who you were always meant to be. The dome was not placed to protect you from harm alone. It was placed to activate that identity. Every forgotten gift, every buried dream, every silenced instinct, they are coming to the surface now. The dome doesn't create gifts. It reveals them. And now, with interference removed, those gifts can operate at full capacity. You're no longer chasing approval. You're no longer shrinking. You're remembering. And in that remembrance, boldness returns, not loud or reckless, but grounded and resolute. Your role is not to blend in. It's to stand as an aligned example. Not perfect, but positioned. And the dome ensures that your position is sustained, not just for a season, but for the long term. From here forward, you're not just covered. You're connected to wisdom, to timing, to flow. Every step is now intentional. Conversations carry weight. Movements carry purpose. You're not guessing anymore. You're walking in agreement, and as you move, the environment around you will shift. People will feel it. Energy will change. Not because you demanded it, but because alignment creates atmosphere. Wherever you go, that alignment becomes the culture. Spaces respond. Systems adjust. The dome creates a microclimate of breakthrough, an atmosphere where prayers manifest, clarity flows, and peace rules. This is the chosen one's new normal. Not struggle-driven, not performance-based, but spiritually secured. Every step forward is reinforced. Every decision is guided. Every detour is recalibrated. And this structure, this dome, will not dissolve with time. It's not a temporary gift. It's a permanent feature. A spiritual companion designed by heaven, installed by purpose, and maintained by obedience. From now on, your path is clear. Not free from challenge, but full of purpose. Not without noise, but equipped with filters. Not perfect, but progressing. You are not just chosen. You are sealed. Chosen one. As this journey draws to a close, what has been revealed is more than protection, it's preparation. The dome surrounding your life is not a symbol of isolation, but a structure for alignment, acceleration, and sustainability. It is the visible mark of an invisible assignment. It confirms not just who you are, but what you are here to do. Everything that has been removed, redirected, or revealed was part of a greater plan. Every closed door was a strategic barrier. Every exit was an intentional clearing. Every moment of discomfort was a recalibration. You are no longer living by assumption. You are walking by instruction, guided, not guessing. Protected, not paused. Dome does not exempt you from life. It simply equips you to move through it with precision. While others may interpret change as instability, you now recognize transition as purpose. You have been entrusted with insight, stability, and direction, not to carry for yourself alone, but to influence and uplift others as well. In the days ahead, you will begin to notice this influence taking form. It may not come with applause, recognition, or spotlight, but it will come with results. Quiet results. Internal breakthroughs. External opportunities that align seamlessly. People will sense the change before they understand it. They may not know what has shifted, but you will. The dome has done its work. You are now functioning from a new level of clarity. You are making decisions not from urgency, but from discernment. Your calendar, your conversations, and your commitments are becoming aligned with your capacity and your calling. You are building without burnout, growing without grasping, moving without being moved by pressure. This phase marks a return not to who you were, but to who you've always been beneath the noise, the survival, and the confusion. The dome simply brought you back to your original frequency, a frequency of alignment, wisdom, and peace. That frequency is now your operating standard. As you move forward, remember this: the dome will adjust with you. It is not a static wall. It is a responsive system. It evolves as you evolve. It expands as you rise. And when you begin to feel misalignment again, when distractions increase or peace fades, it is not a sign that the dome has failed. It is a signal that you are being recalibrated again. Pay attention to those signals. They are not disruptions. They are corrections. The chosen one is not immune to missteps, but you are now equipped to recover faster. You are no longer building from scratch. You are building from a foundation that was established by design, not accident. You don't need to fear setbacks. You've been given the internal tools to navigate them with clarity and strength. As the dome continues to guide your life, expect timing to become more precise. Expect encounters that seem too perfect to be planned. Expect insights that arrive exactly when needed. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The dome operates by divine coordinates. It ensures that your steps are not just forward, but aligned. Your future is not a mystery. It is a path already drawn your role. Now is not to create it from scratch, but to stay in agreement with it. You no longer have to strive. You only need to stay synchronized. That synchronization will carry you further than force ever could. And perhaps, most importantly, know this: you are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not behind. Everything about your journey is on schedule. The pauses were not wasted. The pressure was not random. Every moment, every lesson, every delay brought you here to clarity, to calling, to structure, and to spiritual strength. The dome does not promise an easy life, but it guarantees an equipped one. One where distractions are filtered, where timing is honored, and where every part of your design serves a purpose. You are no longer scattered. You are sealed. No longer overlooked. You are positioned. The chosen one now walks with a calm confidence, not because everything is certain, but because everything is covered. You are walking in truth, protected by structure and powered by obedience. That is more than a message. It is a way of life. And from this moment on, every decision you make, every place you enter, every relationship you form, and every word you speak will carry the signature of divine alignment. You are not just chosen. You are ready. Subscribe for more clarity-driven insights. Until next time, stay aligned.